Yo, what is up, everybody? It is Wednesday night. It is 9 p.m. It is time for Shooting the Shit Uncensored. I am your host, the bald, the beard, the beautiful Piers Austin. And tonight I have a very special guest. I have Ms. Savannah Summers joining me on the show tonight, and I can't wait to bring her on and have an amazing conversation. I know you guys are looking forward to it, as I am. So, guys, before we get into it, I just want to take a quick second, a quick moment, a quick pause to thank those people that help us keep these fluoro lights on and all the power going on in the MWA podcast network. And that is the first is the Wrestling Universe. Now, guys, the Wrestling Universe is your one-stop shop for all of your pro wrestling merchandise needs. They have action figures from WCW, AEW, Impact, ECW. Did I say ECW? I think I did, but I'll say it twice because ECW is pretty good. UFC, TNA, from past and present, they carry t-shirts, wrestling cards, autographed 8x10s, masks, belts, and much, much more. They also have in-store signings with some of the biggest names from the wrestling world. They've got Kurt Angle coming up, Darby Allin. I believe they've also got Thunder Rosa, I think, is also coming up there as well in a couple of weeks. So if you're in Queens, New York, go and check out those live signings. But guys, I tell you what, even if you're not in Queens, New York, you're in Sydney, Australia, you're in London, England, no matter where you are, the Wrestling Universe has got you covered because they ship internationally, and all of their autographed items come with a certificate of authenticity as well. So you've got all of that covered. But guys, next is healthvape.com. Now, healthvape.com is your healthy vaping alternative. All their product is no nicotine, no harmful or addictive chemicals. They are vitamin infused. Guys, I've said this before. I'm a former cigarette smoker. I'm now a vape per person thing, and like my wife's been at me to get off this vapor shit, right? So this is my step to doing that, to getting off vaping, to get off everything. I'm getting healthvape.com to send me out some stuff, and this is going to be my transition to a healthier lifestyle. So guys, check out healthvape.com, use promo code MWA pod for your 10% discount at your final purchase. But guys, once you've quit smoking, once you've got that healthy vape, you need to go over to sleeves.com. Now, if you're an athlete or someone you know is an athlete, sleeves.com have everything that you'll need. They've got armbands, knee sleeves, compression pants, compression tights, mouth guards, helmets, headgears, boots, whatever it is that you're looking for. It's your one-stop shop. And guys, they've even got dirty boxes. And I've got to say, the dirty boxes that they sent me out, guys, are the most comfortable boxes I've ever owned. Absolutely amazing. You got to check them out. And it's got a huge elephant at the front of it. So that's pretty cool as well, right? So you got to check out their dirty boxes, guys. Use MWA pod at checkout for a 10% discount. I apologize, guys. I'm choking over my words. But guys, as well, MWA Podcast Network, we've got some amazing shows for you here, guys. You know, we've got Killing the Business every Friday night at 9 p.m. USA Eastern, which is 8 p.m. USA Eastern on a Friday night, which is 10 a.m. here in Australia, with former ECW original, the Kingpin, Angel Medina, King Mega, and Glenn Sexton. They break down everything that's going on in the world of wrestling. And, you know, Angel, man, he is one guy that you just can't really control what he says. He just keeps going and going and going, and we got to rein him in sometimes, man. It's a great show to watch, so check it out. But guys, also you need to check out Get Funked with former WCW and former TNA star Alan Kwee Funk. His show Get Funked airs every Thursday night at 7 p.m. USA Eastern, which is Friday morning here at 9 a.m. And he's had on some amazing guests from WCW past. And his TNA days, and guys he trained with at the power plant, and they've got some amazing stories to tell, and it really takes me back to my childhood because I was a huge WCW fan, guys. So if you're into WCW, you're into that old school stuff, you need to check out Get Funked. But guys, as well, the last but definitely not least is Knights of the Gimmick Table with the Dead Presidents, Boogaloo and Lowrider. So Boogaloo and Lowrider are two brothers. They're a tag team. They've been wrestling for over 20 years on the Northeast independent circuit over in the US. Very well respected guys on the indies over there. Been tagging for many years, and their show Knights of the Gimmick Table, they're bringing on guys. They're having conversations with guys they've gone up and down the roads with, trained with, worked with, had crazy experiences traveling to and from shows with. And it's an amazing show. Both guys are trained by WWE Hall of Famer Johnny Rodz, so a lot of stories about Johnny as well. So make sure you check out Nights of the Gimmick Table. That's every Sunday night at 9 p.m. USA Eastern, 11 a.m. on a Monday morning. Whew, guys, I've got it all out now. We got some people in the house. We got Lowrider. What's up, buddy? Thanks for tuning in. But guys, without further ado, I'm going to bring on my guest right now because she's sitting there very patiently. Savannah Summers, thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Hi, thanks for having me.
How's it going? Because you're over in Adelaide and you guys just got like what 7-day lockdown, right?
Yeah, didn't we? Great. Joining the rest of the team, I guess.
Hey, yeah. I'm in week 4.
Yeah, at the moment, like we've been pretty lucky. So let's hope it's just the 7 days. I've still had work. I work today, but I've been told I can have 4 days off, and so I'm back next Wednesday. So yes, no, it'd be nice having a few extra days. Let's hope that's all it is. I really hope so.
Yeah, same here. It's been crazy because like we had like lockdown last year, which put everything to a halt, including professional wrestling. And then things started to open back up and shows started to happen and everyone's like excited and you're starting to see people put on some amazing matches all around Australia. And we were one of the first countries to really go back to full capacity events.
Yeah,
with
absolutely.
wrestling events.
Yeah,
So,
no, I mean, we've been pretty lucky in Adelaide. We only had like a maybe couple of months where we had to stop last year, and then I've been back doing shows pretty regularly since then, just smaller capacity crowds and that. So I really hope this doesn't, throw a spanner in the works.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think only time will tell. But as far as yourself, like being in the world of wrestling, like were you always a fan of it before getting into it? Like, was that something you were like as a child going like, I've got to do this?
Yes, absolutely. That's how I got into wrestling. I just fell in love with it. When I started watching it, I started watching. I think I just found it on TV one day. It used to be on really late at night. It was on at like midnight when I was in like primary school, I think. And so you used to like sneak awake and like watch TV at night, when everyone goes to bed and really quiet. And I think that's how I discovered it and just fell in love and always knew that I wanted to be a part of it, or I wanted more from wrestling. I just loved it that much. And I was always really athletic. So I think I just always knew that I wanted to do it. Not so much that I just wanted to be a fan. Like it was always, I'm going to do it. So yeah.
What drew you to it? Was it the athleticism, the showmanship?
I think it was all of it. I really don't know, because I just remember finding it. Like I don't have any brothers or anything, so I didn't have anyone to show me the way. I have an older sister. She definitely did not introduce me to wrestling. She's into horses, so she's not into wrestling at all. My dad never gave a toss about wrestling. So I definitely just discovered it and fell in love. And I think it was the fact that it was so over the top and, with all the storylines and the entertainment side of it, but then the fitness, like the sports side of it as well. Because like I said, I grew up in a very sports heavy family, and I've played sports my whole life. So was my sister. Both my parents were very into sports. So I think I loved that side of it, but then that it had that extra element to it of entertainment and like the women were just beautiful, and I think I loved that. I was like, look at these gorgeous women beating the shit out of each other. That was amazing to me. Like that's what I want to be, beautiful and beat the shit out of people. That sounds great. Who doesn't want that?
But like, did you have any particular performer that you remember, like when you first saw it, that was like that drew you into it? Was like, whoa, like
well, definitely The Rock. I have to say, he was very entertaining and very good looking. So I loved him straight away. I used to always tune in really to see him, and I wanted to watch him all the time. But I loved the women as well. Like I remember every single time a new girl came out that I didn't know, like they may have already been around, but I didn't know them because I've just started watching, and I was just always so amazed. I remember seeing like Jacqueline for the first time, and I was like, oh, "There's another girl! Oh my god!" I was, that's my reaction every time there was a different girl that I hadn't seen before, and I would just mark out, and I loved it. It didn't matter who they were. I was just excited there were more girls.
Yeah, and I think like even then, like, because by the sound of it, when you said Jacqueline came out, I'm assuming this is late '90s.
Yes.
Yeah. So like when there was literally, I think 2 women in the WWE at the time, was her and no, 3, her, Sable, and China, and then I think
there was like none, and that's why every time someone new would come out, I would just be like, "Oh my god, there's more! There's another one! Oh my god, this is great!" and just get so excited about it. So yeah, I definitely think that I was like more attracted to watching the women, but the big personalities in the men's division, like I loved that as well. Like back in the day, I just loved all of wrestling. I'd watch anything I could get my hands on. Nowadays, I mainly just watch the women. I love watching the women. I watch a bit of the men's, like the big pay-per-views. I'll watch the whole thing, but I really just follow the women. Unfortunately, it's just the way, I've sort of gone. But yeah, back when I started, it didn't matter what it was. I loved it. And yeah, I think the big personalities, obviously, I remember The Undertaker really standing out, and I loved him for a long time as well. So
I think everyone had like at a period of time of a wrestling fan had a thing for The Undertaker. Like The Undertaker was their guy for a period of time.
Yeah, I loved him. And then I think I saw him before I even saw The Rock, and I loved The Undertaker. And then as soon as The Rock came into the picture, I was like, forget The Undertaker. Look at The Rock. So I still loved him, but yeah.
But both of those performers are like amazing performers, because it's like they can do a heel and a babyface role without changing too much of the character.
Yes,
like just very minor tweaks. And it's so like you see a lot of performers either go like extreme opposites when they switch between the two roles. But
yes, yeah.
But when did 100%. But when did you decide to go, you know what? I'm sick of being a fan. I got to get in there now. Like, when was that moment?
Like I said, I think in the back of my mind, when I loved wrestling, just watching it, I think I always knew that I kind of wanted to do it, but I just never. It was never like practical, Like I was like, how do you just go become a wrestler? Like I had never seen it live. I had never heard of any wrestling in Australia. I had no idea where to even begin. But I think I just always kind of knew, like, if I could, this is what I would be doing. So I think as I got older, it started becoming a more of a like, no, you got to do this. Like, this is your passion. This is your thing. Like, you need to follow this. And then I think when I was about 15, 16, I remember just I would just tell everyone, like, I'm going to be a pro wrestler. All my friends, they used to pay me out. Everyone used to give me so much grief. My family used to give me lots of grief. Like, yeah, you're gonna be a pro wrestler. I'm going to do it. You just watch. It's going to happen. And well, I turned 18 and I made it happen. So yeah.
But that's the thing. It's the determination to do it, though. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and you even said at 15 years of age, where like most, boys and girls, when they become teenagers, that's when wrestling sort of starts to die off for them. But that sounds like you were like, nope.
Yeah. No, I held on to that baby like so tight. I just loved it. I think anybody that's got a passion for anything, you can't just let it go. Even if you like people pay you out, make fun of you, whatever, it's you got to follow your dreams sometimes. I think I just would have been very depressed and very sad if I had grown up knowing I never even tried. I never even like pursued it at all. I don't think I would have been able to cope, because I loved it like that much. Like it was my thing, and I liked it. And I think I liked that as well, being different. Like nobody else that I knew, none of my girlfriends and even my guy friends, nobody was into wrestling. It was just me. And so it was nice to have something that was mine and I loved.
Yeah.
And it was nice. It was good.
But did you ever think like, man, I wish someone I knew was into this so I can like talk about
Oh,
what's going?
anytime I would meet anybody that watched wrestling, oh, I would just get so excited and
Yeah.
I'd want to have a conversation with them. And usually it was a guy, and usually if it was a guy at school or something, they'd be like, calm down, like, it's just wrestling. And even though they like it, they're still just like, they don't like it like I like it.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey, I like it just yet.
Like, wow, all right.
But how did you feel like getting in there and like going in to start training? Because like going from being a fan to then going in and getting involved and starting to take bumps, you know, a lot of times I've been told is like, you know, some people that go in, they don't really respect the business. They think it's something else, but when they really get in there and they start going through that first initial, you know, tryout or training session, it's like either a light bulb moment where it's like, yep, this is what I want to do, or it's like, fuck this, you know.
Yeah,
So
no, I never had any of that. I never even thought about not doing it or not continuing doing it ever. It was like, I just have to figure out what I have to do and then I'm going to do it. And there was never any thoughts of just, this isn't for me, or I'm, you know, I've got to I'm giving up because, you know, I hit my head tonight and that wasn't fun. Like, I just always did it. I always knew I wanted to do it and I stuck with it. Like, after, I think I was really lucky. I feel like once I turned 18, I really feel like I brought it to me. I knew I wanted to do it. I think I wished it. What do they say? Speaking it into existence.
yeah.
I definitely feel like I did that because, like I said, I didn't know it existed anywhere in Adelaide or Australia, really. So when I met some guys that did it, I was just over the moon. And within a week, I was training with them. And yeah, I never really thought anything more of it. And even after I started and I was training and we was no other women, but I still was just, I didn't even think. It was just like, no, but this is what I want to do and I'm just going to keep training. And it was like, I'd love other women to be here, but they're not. And so I just keep doing this because I love it and I'm going to do it. And even though I had to train for like a year, over a year almost, to before I had my first match, there was never any thought of giving up. It was like, I'm here until I have a match, and I'm not just having a match. I'm going to keep having matches. And even now, I think about it, and people are like, "Do you think you're going to stop? Like, you're getting old. Do you think maybe soon you give up?" And I'm like, I don't even think about stopping. I just love wrestling, and I just want to keep doing it. And it doesn't even like enter my mind that like, oh yeah, I should probably think about wrapping this career up, or, you know, like maybe think about new things to get into. I'm like, nah, I'm just going to do this till my body collapses on me. Like, great.
Yeah, you clearly love the business, but what year did you start training?
I think 2005.
Yeah, right. So
I'm old.
Yeah. No, not at all. Not at all. But like starting in 2005, even then, like women's wrestling, you know, wasn't big. Like, you know, you said that you were pretty much the only female, you know, wrestling there. Like when you were watching WWE at the time and you were sort of seeing what women's wrestling was at that moment, were you thinking, okay, that's what women's wrestling is and that's what I'll need to eventually adapt to? Or were you thinking, no, I want to be more than just what I'm seeing there?
No, you know what? You say it like I was aware that the women were shitter than the men, and I was never aware of that. I loved what I was watching, and I was never aware that the women got shitter spots, that they didn't get as much time, that they were told they weren't allowed to perform as well as the men. I know all that now, but watching it back in the day, I was never aware of that because I just loved it. And so it was just exciting for me to be able to watch whatever I could watch, whatever I could see. If they were out there for 2 minutes, then that was the whole show to me, whether I noticed it was 2 minutes or not. Like, you know, sure, I would have loved more, but I didn't even notice that they weren't getting that because it was just, I would just love to see whatever I could see. So for me, it was just when I started training, I never thought I'm going to have to learn differently to the men. Just never even crossed my mind. It was like, I'm just going to start training. I trained with the men. I did all the stuff the men did, and I didn't think anything more of it. And the men, like the boys here that trained me, never treated me any differently either. I think at first having me come in, they were a bit like, oh, we have a girl training now. Like, do we have to do different things? Do we have to like show, like, be a bit like nicer to her? But they weren't. I think they probably thought maybe they do. And some of the boys probably didn't want to hit me or didn't want to, you know, do certain things with me. But I never really saw that. Like, they really just treated me like just one of the guys, and I was just in there to learn, and they were just there to teach me. And I think being very athletic, I just picked it up probably like pretty easily, and that probably helped them. If I don't mean this in a mean way. I think you get boys as well. I was going to say like a prissy little girl, but like you get boys that aren't as athletic as well. So
100%.
if I was a girl that was a bit more like that, maybe that would have pissed them off a bit. Maybe that would have made them train me different. But I like taking hits. I can take hits. I like giving hits. And so I think that probably helped them to be able to just train me the same as all the boys and just throw me in the mix, and it didn't matter.
And I think they probably thought that you're taking it seriously as well. You're respecting, what they're doing there, and you're respecting the business. That's why they probably were like, going in there. And that's something I speak to my friend Angel, who's been in wrestling for 30 years. And he we did a podcast with now retired wrestler Missy Sampson from the US. And he was saying, he's like, no, like I consider her one of the boys. And I'm like, well, in 2021, you can't say she's one of the boys. And she actually said, no, from our generation, that is the most respectful thing he just said to me. Yeah. And it's like when they look at you like that level.
Yeah, equal. And they're not looking at you, and they don't even consciously do it. It's just, that's how they see you. And I think it's a lot of respect if they're just looking at you like one of the boys.
Oh, 100%. But, you mentioned, after about a year, you had your first match. How'd that one go?
Well, not great.
So tell us about it. Who was it with?
It was with Sarah J. Do you know Sarah J?
Sarah J. Name sounds familiar.
Wow, I can't believe you don't know her or know of her. But she was living in Melbourne at the time. She's from Queensland. She's Brisbane or wherever she's up that way. She's still up there. But she was living in Melbourne, and we didn't have any women. So we did a trip, like a road trip to work a show in Melbourne, like me and 4 guys. And they had a women's match, which was Sarah J, Vixen, and I want to say Vita Loca. I think that was her name. I'm not 100%. So we got to see a match with them, and afterwards, so the boys were like, okay, cool. So they've got some women. We've seen them. Maybe we bring one over, and then you can finally have a match. And Sarah was really the only one. The other 2, they were nice. They introduced themselves and everything. But Sarah was very keen to come over and work. She was like really, grafting with the guys to be like, I think at the time she was trying to make a go of it with wrestling. She had moved from Queensland to Melbourne because they had more wrestling there. And she had gone there to do more wrestling. Not that back in the day there was anything happening anyway, but that's why she was there. So I think she was just keen to, come over and get as much exposure and as much work as she could. She had already been wrestling for a few years. So the boys were like, yeah, she'll be good. She's good looking. And the boys like, they like that. So they were like, she's keen. She's good looking. She's been wrestling a little while. Let's get her over and you can have a match. So we got her over, and like, to be honest, I feel like I trained for so long and I was still so unprepared. Like, I feel like the boys did not prepare me at all. Sorry, boys, but you didn't.
But no, like, I think everyone would feel that way. Like, even like I've spoken to some people that said I was not ready. I knew I wasn't ready, but the coach said I was ready, and it's like, well, if they say you're ready, like, maybe you're ready. Like,
I think I was ready, like fitness wise and skill wise. I had learned enough to have a match, but I feel like psychology wise and like gimmick wise and like stage present wise, I was definitely not ready. So, but in saying that, the boys were also very new to the business then, and they were all learning and coming through. And I don't think they were used to bringing someone through that was so like green to the business like me.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the other boys that came in and started training, I don't know, they just understood the business. I didn't know fucking anything. Sorry, I know if I'm allowed to swear.
No, you're allowed. You're allowed. It's
Okay,
called
good.
shooting the shit uncensored. You can say whatever the fuck you want.
I didn't know anything. Like I knew what I watched. I didn't get like I knew that I had been told that it was fake, but I didn't understand that, you know, how, like why it was fake. I didn't understand like selling. I didn't understand anything. So, you know, even after training for so long, they would say these things to me, but they were never like full on go into it. And so I think I was still very unprepared, but I'm still glad I got thrown out there, thrown into the deep end. I definitely learning on the job. And I think it has helped me now with bringing new girls through. I feel like I really take my time to explain to them what's going to happen, how it's going to go, what to expect, and all those little things, which is, I think, is good whether I didn't get it or not. It's nice that I can now pass that on to like the new girls coming through.
I mean, it's good that, you know, it's good that they have the opportunity to work on shows with someone who is a veteran like you, who's been through it and learned from it, and you can show them the right way on, you know, how to perform out there.
Yeah, no, it's nice because I definitely look back at when I started, and as lovely as Sarah J was when she came over, it was still like she was there on the day, and I only had, you know, that time to work with her, and didn't know what to expect, and I had to be the heel, but then I was loved because it was like I was the girl from Adelaide. It was all very like yeah, but it is what it is, you know. It's good to look back at now and you go, wow, like that happened.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, I suppose, like, even though when those things happen, you learn from your mistakes. Like, if you went out there and did everything so crisp and perfect and stuff like that, the finer things like the selling or the psychology side of things would have probably lacked longer term. But the fact that, you know, you made those mistakes, you look back at it and then you probably break it down from every sort of different aspect. But even then, like, you know, the match itself was probably not as bad as what you remember it as.
Oh no, it's bad. It's online. You can go and see it. It's still there, and it has like some ridiculous amount of views. And I'm just like, guys, it's not good. It's my first match. Like, please.
We can do it. Commenting. We can do a live watch along now if you like.
Oh my god, no! You can see that, like my face. You can see how scared I am in my face, like deer in headlights. You know. It's so bad. And at one point, I take a move and I land directly on my head, and I got pins and needles through my entire body.
Shit.
Yeah. Yes. This is my first match, and I've landed on my head, pins and needles through my whole body. And I remember just standing straight up, no sold landing on my head because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And I stand up and I'm shaking my fingers like this because I've got pins and needles everywhere. I'm trying to shake it out. It was really weird. And then I found out later that it happens a lot in rugby because of when they come in like this at the start and they hit heads, and a lot of rugby players get that. And I'm like,
it's like it's a stinger. Yeah, because I played rugby back in the day, and I was in the front row, and I'd get them all the time. Like once it happened, like the first time I had the same thing, I was freaking out. I'm going, what the fuck? I'm like,
I know, and I just no-sold the move and kept going. But I remember you can see me stand up and kind of shake my hands to try to get the pins and needles away. Yeah.
But you're probably in panic. You're probably in panic though at that stage. You're like, what the fuck? Like
so much adrenaline. It was my first match. Yeah. All of the adrenaline. I didn't care. I could have been broken neck and everything. I'd have been like, woo, wrestling.
And what did Sarah think of the match afterwards? Was like she was a little bit more experienced than you at the time?
I no-sold her move, but I was like, I don't even know, man. It was my first match. I don't know what I was doing.
Was she cool with you afterwards? Like after you explained it was your first match? And...
Yeah, no. She was like, you no-sold my move, and I said sorry. She's like, no, it's fine. And she was fine. And she came back the next month, and then she came back like a million times. So nah, she's good. She was good.
So you got to have the match over a couple of times, then I take it.
Yeah, a few more times. And I think I probably, she's probably hurt me a few times and I hurt her a few times as well after that. Like, not on purpose, but like,
No.
we've given as good as we've gotten. So it's all right.
Well, it's the nature of the beast,
That's it.
Oh, but then like, starting to get into it, how did you then build your character, Savannah Summers? Like what were you envisioning from when you started to think to put your character together as to what it is now? Like how did you envision it to be?
I think back in the day, there was no envisioning of anything because, like I said, I don't think when I first started, the boys was very new. They had just started their company because the other one had gotten shut down. So they had to start a new one and they didn't really know what they were doing either. I was never really told about gimmicks and explained gimmicks, told to get a gimmick. I didn't really know. And I just was like, this is me. In my first match, it was very much just like, I liked the colors black and silver, so I was like, I'm gonna wear black and silver. That's not a gimmick, they're colors. That was all I had. But I just was like, I guess I watched, like, from watching wrestling and they're all sexy, so I tried to just do the sexy thing. And I think because I was the only girl, so that's how I was put over anyway. Like, we've got a girl, look, sexy, woo. So I just kind of rolled with that. And I was the first lady, so I think I definitely just went with the first lady gimmick, like being the first lady, being like the upper class, you're thinking I'm better than everyone else and that kind of thing. It sort of evolved from just being the actual first lady of Right City or South Australian wrestling. I've always sort of had that, like, thinking I'm better than everyone sort of thing. So yeah, I really don't have much of a gimmick. It's not good. But I got away with it because I was like, I'm old, so now I'm just like the vet. So it's like it kind of works.
The grizzled young vet, exactly.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
But like, how far into your career were you then thinking, okay, I need to start adding elements to the character? Like, when did that sort of come?
I think when other women started coming into the company and they all had different things, and I was like, well, shit, I should probably do things because I've been here longer. People probably want that from me. So I started, I think I got teamed up with some people and tried to incorporate a bit of that. And then I got, like, I think as things like developed, I started feeling like I was getting a bit stale, and I'm like, what am I even doing? And this, people aren't into me anymore because I'm just some girl and I don't do anything special. And I mean, I still really don't, but I feel like I said, just being like the vet, being older, you have that sort of gimmick in and of itself.
In itself,
but, yeah. But I definitely, when I felt like I was getting a bit stale, I took a step back and I asked, like, to stop being booked a bit. And I did my mask gimmick for a little while in there. And that was a lot of fun to sort of reinvent myself a little bit, but also not be me. I felt like I could just try completely new things and just have some fun with it. And so that was really good. And I really enjoyed that. And then when that sort of came to an end, I felt like it was nice because it sort of broke up Savannah. It was like she had a bit of time off. I felt like everybody, was getting sick of her. She'd stepped away for a bit. So then when I came back, it was exciting to see me again. There were new girls in the company. So it made it, a bit more fresh. And then that's when I did my butterfly thing, because it was like a re-emergence. So like, Cocoon, as Venus, and then coming through as like the new butterfly. A lot of people think that it's to do with the divas and the divas belt, but I'm all for the divas, but it's not. It's just, it's just a bit of nothing, a bit of flash for my entrance.
And like some of the matches I was seeing, like you on YouTube leading up to the interview, I saw your match with Rhea Ripley, and like how much of she came up through Riot City, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So how was that? Like, was she sort of starting around the same time as you, or like when did she sort of come in?
Dude, I'm like a decade older than her.
Really?
I don't think you know how old I am. It's cute. Yeah.
Well, you
I
know
mean,
what? I've always been told you don't ask a woman her age, and whatever you assume, always assume younger. So
yes, good, good. Yeah, so I'd already been around for a long time when she came through. And I remember when she came in for her tryout, and I think she was with her dad. She was only like 15, and she was with her dad. And Chris Basso is like, hey, there's another girl. I was just so excited because I'm like, yes, another girl. She's gonna try out. She looks athletic. This is gonna be good.
yeah,
And I was just super excited to have another girl. Anytime we got more girls, I was excited, but especially athletic ones, because no offense to all the girls that have come through RCW, love you all, but we have had a lot of girls come through that you've never even seen because they just weren't that athletic. And like you said, they pretty much gave up before they even like made it onto shows and stuff. So it's nice when you get someone who you can see is obviously passionate and wants to pursue wrestling and is athletic, and you think, yeah, she's going to do a good job. And she was like that straight away. You know, she picked it up straight away and was good straight away, which was great. It's always
yeah.
handy.
But it's also like it's a big thing, like for Australian wrestling now to be so on the map and Australian performers to be holding prominent spots on the card over there. It speaks wonders for like the training here in Australia, but also like the talent that's coming through here as well.
Yeah, it's really refreshing because I started when it was a time when nobody, knew about us down here. And we had bugger all people as it was because we were just sort of starting. And it, like I
Mm,
said, no other women. We only had a handful of guys. There was just not much of anything. And like I didn't even know it existed in Australia or Adelaide until I randomly met some guys in town. So
yeah.
to see where it is now compared to like when I started, it's incredible and really exciting because we never got looked at ever. They only started to come over to do shows for us,
Yeah.
not that long ago. Consider like and doing tryouts, like yeah, it just wasn't a thing when I started. So it is just nice to know we're actually being seen because we have some amazing talent down here. And it's bullshit that they didn't come and look at us for so long.
Oh, 100%. And I think Australian wrestling has always been good.
Yeah.
It's always had quality here. And like I think now the levels of quality is probably like out of this world. But even back then, like 10, 15 years ago, there was still talent here that could very easily gone
Oh,
over there and
yeah.
been big stars.
Absolutely. And that's what makes me sad that they just weren't even looking because nowadays we have social media and we have the internet. So we can, like, a lot of people can get their names out there by themselves, get seen by themselves, or understand the ways to chase your dreams by going to the States or wherever, like to the UK or Japan. Like when I
Hmm.
started, I didn't know that. I didn't know it was big in Japan. I knew nothing about that because we were only just starting to get like messages, like message boards on the internet
Yeah.
stuff. We didn't have any of that when I started. So you didn't know. You had to magically discover it. I don't know how other people did it. I didn't know shit. So it was it's good that we finally have all these, opportunities and all these outlets for people to pursue and to be seen.
Oh, 100%. And it's even now it helps, smaller companies, independent companies to be able to develop storylines and to be able to tell better stories by using social media, by using YouTube. And it also helps to build their shows up as well.
Yeah, just to see the quality of stuff from the independents now over here is amazing. I can't get over it. Like when we first started, we had nothing. We we had like our shitty little lights for our entrance, and everyone thought that was amazing because we had some lights on our entrance and not just a crappy curtain in front of a door. Like
Yeah.
it was, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
nowadays we have production, like the top companies around Australia, they've got it going on. Like we have put some effort and work to make us look, the shit. And I think we're doing good.
Oh, 100%. And, there's companies like here in Australia that their production value is probably a lot bigger than some of the well-known indies over in the US.
Yeah, definitely. And even like I love with Riot City, if you actually go on their YouTube channel, they are and look at the subscribers and how many views they've had on their channel, they're like top 5 wrestling companies in the world. Just saying.
Really?
Just saying.
and being the first women's champion.
It's mostly because of my match with Blair Alexis, because we have 17 million views. But who cares why? The fact is, top 5 in the world.
That's pretty big coming from little old Adelaide in South Australia.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I don't mind, even if it is just my match with Blair that got us up there. I don't care. It's not a great match, but who cares?
What is it about the match that sort of triggered it, do you think?
She gives me a stink face.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. She gives me a stink face, and they decided to make that the what's the lock screen or whatever of it?
Thumbnail.
Yes, that's it, the thumbnail. So that's what everyone sees, and obviously it took off. I think it might have got picked up by some, websites. But yes. We got 17 million views. Do you?
Well, there you go. But far out. That's crazy. 17 million views on one video. That's ridiculous.
I was getting the money for it, but I'm not.
YouTube doesn't pay that well.
Well, I'm not seeing any. I just get the comments.
Yeah, well, there you go. Hopefully, they're positive comments at least.
Yeah, sure.
But now, do you still view wrestling the same way? Like when you sit down and watch wrestling, and you said before that you watch mainly women's wrestling now, but do you still look at it the same way as you did as a fan, or do you watch it more with a critical eye?
Oh, definitely would watch it with more of a critical eye, but I just don't enjoy it like I used to, which is really sad. But I think when you learn all the ins and outs of the business and you understand the backstage politics and everything, it really changes the whole perception of the sport for you. So no, I definitely don't watch it like I used to. Like I used to cry if I missed it. Like I remember the episode. This is sad. I remember the episode of Raw when Vince McMahon was going to kiss The Rock's ass. Yes,
I remember. Yeah.
See? People remember
they
that.
promoted that for a while, didn't they?
Dude, I love The Rock. I was going to get to see his ass. I was very excited. And then I was like 15 or 16. So I was out with my girlfriends, as you do when you're that age. You go out every weekend. So I asked my mum to record it, because that's what you did back when I was 15. You had to put a tape in and you had to record it. And guess what? She stuffed it up, not holding it against you or anything, Mum. All these years later, she stuffed it up and didn't record. Oh my God, did I cry? I cried.
But do you remember the Foxtel? But do you remember the Foxtel boxes? You'd record it, but you couldn't change the channel on the Foxtel box. Otherwise, it would record that.
Yeah, I don't even know what she did. I remember she called me and she's like, "I'm trying to do it and it's not working," and I'm like, "You better get it working, or I'm gonna be pissed." And then she's like, "I can't get it working." And I was with my girlfriends, and I remember bawling my eyes out. And all my girlfriends are like, "What the fuck? You're crying over wrestling?" And I'm like, "You don't understand. It's The Rock's ass, and I'm gonna miss it." It was not good.
Lowrider says, "Oh no, Mum botched the spot."
She did. I'm holding it against her. She still owes me for that. In saying that, when they first came to Australia and they just did the Melbourne show, she tried so hard to get me tickets, but they sold out within like 10 or 15 minutes of going on sale. I was ready to travel to Melbourne by myself at 15 to go and see this show, because The Rock was going to be there. That was the first time they were coming. It was like the biggest thing ever. Couldn't get tickets. I was devastated. But
you know what? You're better off watching it on TV anyway.
Yeah, it's all right.
But
It didn't matter. They came here eventually. I think the next year they came to Adelaide, so it didn't matter.
oh man, yeah. Well, there you go. Like you at least got your WWE live fix. But man, Mama Summers was in some heat back then. I can tell you what, just from
Yes.
hearing that story.
Yes, she did. She did. Like, I gave her the silent treatment for weeks.
But now in your career, like, what goals do you like? Do you still have goals set that you'd like to accomplish in your career?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
You were like, yeah, maybe.
Maybe. That's the thing. Like, I don't really think about it. I just love wrestling, and I just do it because I love it. And I will just keep doing it what I love. If someone asks me to do a show and it's not exciting for me, or I don't feel enthused about it, I just won't do it. And usually it's someone, if they're offering me like a good storyline or someone new to wrestle, then I love that. I am getting a bit more and more over the travel because I'm getting older, I think, and I just have a life and I have to do shit at home. So knowing I'm gonna like go and travel and not waste, but it takes a lot of time just for your match. You have your 10-minute match, but there's like a whole 48 hours wasted because you got to go to do this match. So it's got to be worth it.
100%.
But like I mean, I'd still love to travel around the world and go to more places, but obviously now that's become very hard. I've been asked to do Japan. I've been asked to go back to the UK, and I've been asked to go back to the US, and Canada, but now they're all just on hold. So I was meant to do Hong Kong, and that got stopped. So there's a whole bunch that I'd still love to do, but the longer this, pandemic goes, it's making it harder because I'm just getting older and I'm like, is it going to happen? Can I be stuffed when it all opens up again? I don't know. Depends how I feel at the time, I guess. I want to go as long as I can. I think in my head I've always gone, I at least want to do 20 years, but I don't know.
Yeah.
That's still like another 5 years. Can I do another 5 years? I'm not sure.
But how you feel? How you feel holding up?
I've never had any serious injuries. I have no chronic pain. I definitely, a few years ago, I think quite a few years ago, I realized wrestling takes its toll. And I pulled back a lot on what I do in the ring. Like when I was young, when I was first coming through, I used to do some stupid shit and I would just like love it. I was like, yes, landing on my head. Woo! Like, what was I thinking? I don't know. Deathies all day long, but now I'm quite a few years ago, I think I was like, I would like to do this for a long time. And one day, I don't when I'm older, I don't want to be a cripple. I don't want to be, in a wheelchair. I don't want to have issues. So if I can help it. So I definitely just pulled back on like my move sets and the kind of things I would do. And so I think a lot of people would look at my wrestling and go, she's not the best. I'm not the best. I don't claim to be the best, but a lot of people might think, I'm a lot shitter than I am. I think I'm probably better than I put over myself to be in matches because I don't want to kill myself. I don't want to have issues when I'm older. Like I said, I'm lucky I've never had any serious injuries and I don't have any like problems at the moment, and knock on wood, it's going to keep going that way.
But it sounds like you just wrestled smart.
Yeah, I think
like there's a way to have good matches. I mean, but there's ways of having good matches without killing yourself, like like I watch, NXT from time to time, and some of the spots that I've seen them do that, I'm like, why? Like, why are you doing like that? One, it doesn't make sense. Number two, like you're already at the show. Like you don't that like it wasn't needed,
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I think as well, looking at stuff like that, and I think I'm in Adelaide and I'm in front of like 200-300 people, and like I want to entertain them and I want to give them their money's worth and that, but not at the expense of my health. And I've definitely just learned to work safe and smart, and I know how I understand psychology now, so I can work that and get the crowd into it that way, and I'd much rather do that nowadays. And like, I can still put it out. If I'm in a huge match, you know, I can take big bumps, and I'm usually the one that does take the big bumps anyway in the end because everyone else pussies. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, wow. Savannah's shooting tonight. She's shooting.
But yeah, no, I don't mind. I don't mind taking them big moves instead of giving them. It's okay.
Yeah, I mean, but as long as they make sense to the spot and to the match, and it, you know, like it's if it's just something like ridiculously out there, I can't imagine you going, okay, yeah, let's do that.
Definitely, we'll try to talk some people out of it or explain why it's a stupid idea.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
But guys, it is getting to that time. It is time for the game. It is time for 60 seconds with Piers. We have told Savannah how this is going to be. We've given a prior warning. So how it's going to be, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to fire rapid questions at my guest, Savannah Summers, and she's got 60 seconds to answer as many questions as she can. We got 5-star Flash in the house. He's even tuned in just at the right time. What's up, Fivey?
I should thank Fivey for getting me on the show.
Yes, absolutely. And I think also the last FWA show that just got cancelled due to COVID I was gonna call one of your matches, I believe. So I was actually going to be making my commentary debut. So was I. I was going to be making my commentary debut. So looking forward to when that opens up. But back on with the show. So 60 seconds with Piers, getting ready. Let me know when you're ready and we'll get started.
I guess I'm ready.
What sport did you play as a kid?
Oh, every sport. I played calisthenics. I played softball, netball, soccer, football, tennis, gymnastics, dancing. Yeah.
What is your favorite song to sing in the car?
I don't listen to music in the car. I listen to YouTube videos.
Snapchat or TikTok?
Oh, I don't have TikTok. Snapchat.
What is your go-to drink on a night out?
I don't go out and I don't drink.
There you go. What would your autobiography be called?
I don't know. Savannah Summers.
If you could ask Vince McMahon one question, what would it be?
Oh my God, there's so many questions I would ask Vince McMahon. I probably something about dyslexia. I know he has dyslexia, so I'd probably ask him how he managed to overcome like that to get to where he is now.
And last question is, if you came with a warning label, what would it be?
Oh, loud.
There you go. That has been 60 seconds with Piers. Savannah, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on. We should do it again. We should do it again very soon, actually. So it's been a pleasure having you on. Absolutely. Like we'll work out a time and we'll get you back on very soon. But guys, thank you for everyone for tuning in live. Thank you for everyone tuning in post live. Guys, do us a favor. Check out our sponsors, the Wrestling Universe. Check out our other sponsors, also sleeps.com. And also check out healthvape.com using promo code MWAPOD for 10% discount on your final purchase. Guys, check out all the shows we got coming up with Killing the Business with former ECW original, The Kingpin, Angel motherfucking Medina, King Mega and Glenn Sexton. Also check out Get Funked with WCW and TNA alumni Alan Kwee Funk. And I can't forget about my boys, Knights of the Gimmick Table, with the Dead Presidents, Boogaloo and Lowrider. But guys, you can also check out Shooting the Shit Uncensored. This week, we're bringing you multiple episodes like we do many, many weeks. But guys, thanks for tuning in. And we're going to catch you very, very soon. Peace.